Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature, typically down at Haulover Inlet, but today we are visiting its cousin to the north, BOCA, and it is a rough day. BOCA Inlet is absolutely firing today. This is a big boat coming in, and you can tell it's even struggling. Gonna be interesting to see how the rest of our captains fare as they try and battle the inlet. And here we go, we're ready to move into the first round of our contest, and here in the first round, the boats are going to toss a Larson in the ring to try and do battle with BOCA. Again, it's going to be a rough day. We've got 18-mile-an-hour winds, and the waves are just stacking up as these vessels try and make their way out. So our crew, they're doing okay. He's got the boat barely up on plane, which is typically a pace that I like, but man, you can tell right here, they're nailing some big rollers. Wifey's sitting on the passenger side like, bro, this sucks. Turn it around, and she is hanging on for dear life. I've got to imagine she's actually kind of terrified sitting there. At least that's the look we're getting when we look over at her. And unfortunately for this crew, they're making it out okay. But Wifey, I bet, is yelling, turn this thing around and take me back in. And for that, I'm gonna have to err on the side of BOCA and give BOCA the win here in the first round. And that's gonna give BOCA the 1-0 edge as we move into the second round of our contest. And here in the second round, the boats are gonna bring a Sea Fox into the game and see if it can get the boats back on the board. And here we go, our crew's starting to make their way out of the inlet. They're keeping the bow really high, which is a good game plan, especially on a day like today, where BOCA's kind of firing on all cylinders. So our crew, they're not quite up on plane, but just enough throttle to give the bow that boost it needs to try and get over these waves. And they slow down here. That could be a downfall. He's definitely going to need to get on the throttle a little bit to try and keep that bow up. Again, it's easier said than done, as one of the things I'll always stress to you guys is waves are bigger in person than they are on the camera. They never ever transition over to the camera looking the same size as they are in real life, because as you can tell, some of that white water was almost as high as the gunnel of the boat, which means it's probably easily 3 to 4s that they're seeing out here. And most people would say, oh, this is nothing, I don't know what they're doing. But fortunately for this crew, they take it easy and they're able to make it out and take a win for the boats here in the second round. And that's going to get the boats on the board as we get to a 1-1 tie as we move into the third round of our competition. And here in the third round, we're going to feature a pro line trying to take on BOCA, and this crew's coming out just a little bit faster. They got a little more throttle behind them, and I guess the fenders are out to try and give them a little more flotation, maybe help keep the boat above the water. But our crew is working their way out, and right now it is firing heavy. They've picked kind of the wrong time. Sometimes timing is everything, as it's firing a little more right now than it has been up until this point. Oh man, they stop it! Right there, they wind up taking a wave over the bow as they're trying to get out. But here you can see we've got breakers in the background now. It is just a nasty time to be coming through the inlet. They're gonna make it out, but the damage was done with the light stuffing, and this crew's gonna wind up taking a loss for the boats here in the third round. Now that's going to bring us to the fourth round of our contest. BOCA's got a 2-1 edge over the boats, and here in the fourth round we're going to feature a contender stepping in the ring, trying to keep the boats' hopes alive and seeing if we can move into the fifth round of the contest. And our crew's coming out, they've got the boat up on plane, bow high. This is a pretty solid running attitude, but it's a rough day. I'm going to be surprised if they can hold this running attitude the whole way out. But our crew, everybody's hanging on. Cap's not backed off on that throttle. He's just going to send her and let it ride. And overall, this crew looks good. Might be the best run so far of the day. And this contender is going to go ahead and take a win for the boats here in the fourth round. And this, of course, is going to bring us into our fifth and final round of our competition. We are now tied at 2 apiece. Time to decide who's going to take the victory today. Will it be the boats or BOCA Inlet? And we've got a rinker stepping in the ring to try and close it out for the boats. And let's see how our crew does. So Cap's standing up, trying to get a good look at what's going on. They definitely are coming out a little bit slow. He's going to have to get on the throttle a little bit to try and get that bow up. I mean, they're in a dangerous spot right here at this pace. Definitely at risk of stuffing it. Cap's got to find a way to get this thing moving, but BOCA's got the intimidation factor going, and Cap is holding off from doing anything too crazy. In fact, it almost looks like they're debating on whether they even really want to go out on this day. So they do continue on, trying to make their way out, but again, never really speed up. And they've gone a little bit north where it's a little bit rougher here because of the sandbars over there. And here we go, they get up a little water over the bow, and it was a light stuffing, but it was a stuffing. And that's going to be enough for this crew to wind up taking a loss for the boats here in the 5th round, and BOCA Inlet is going to wind up taking the win. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.